But you do want the extra protection of Band-Aid plastic strips. They take better care of little cuts and scratches. They stay put.
Yes, even in hot, soapy dishwater. Neat, fresh-colored, almost invisible.
That was a Band-Aid brand adhesive bandage commercial from the 1950s. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Band-Aid. One appealing feature has always been the product's flesh tone finish. But whose flesh tone? Just this year, manufacturer Johnson & Johnson decided to expand the colors of the product, similar to the line they released over a decade ago and then scrapped. It's just one example of a movement that includes another maker of first aid products, putting racial sensitivity first.
Roar! You got this.
Toby Meisenheimer, a father of 6, is the co-founder of True Color Bandages.
It's just a small one, right?
He's made a medical-grade brand to match an array of skin tones, a need he discovered while tending to his adopted son.
Our acrobatic 3-year-old Kai had nicked his forehead, came to me crying, and I went into the cabinet and grabbed a Band-Aid and put it on his forehead, and we sat on the couch and cuddled, and it was kind of like, for the first time, the scales fell from my eyes. 38 years of life, and how have I not noticed this before?
In 2013, he searched for an alternative, and about a year later, ran into orthopedic hand surgeon Dr. Raymond Warappa. He designed a better functioning bandage for knuckles and fingers, inspired by his own son, Christian.
It's amazing to see where we were.
And a team of fathers was made. Along with 2 other members, True Color Bandages was born.
We make bandages for all shades of skin.
And that's the beauty of it, I think, is by combining our efforts, we can, accomplish more together and have an offering that I think sends the right message, especially in these times.
So what is your message to the medical community when it comes to inclusion?
Yes, the bandage helps with healing physically, but there's also a emotional, psychological aspect to what it does. Just seeing that you're acknowledged for who you are and there are options out there.
It took my breath away.
That message was received over 2,000 miles away by Dominique Apollon.
For the first time in my life, I know what it feels like to have a Band-Aid in my own skin tone. You can barely even spot it in the first image. For real, I'm holding back tears.
He tweeted that feeling, and hundreds of thousands of people worldwide liked back, including Star Wars actor John Boyega. And that started a conversation about race.
Didn't expect to have the reaction, and so it just shocked me. It really took my breath away. I felt silly for having that reaction.
You're still having it. I see it in your eyes.
Yeah, there's a part of me that still does feel silly. There are far more important struggles like, again, police brutality, employment discrimination. To me, this was part of a broader story of racial exclusion, and it was just a small symbol.
Even today, products advertised as nude are not nude for everyone, from high heels to undergarments, athletic tape, to even crayons.
We start off life with images in a coloring book.
You're right.
I remember as a little girl, there was never a color that I could describe or ascribe as me.
Same thing. Same exact thing. And so I felt when I saw the drawing, a portrait, that it wasn't me. And I just didn't feel complete. I didn't feel included. And I just didn't feel like that was me. Find your color.
Mimi Dixon manages brand equality and activation for Crayola. She launched Colors of the World this summer, a crayon pack dedicated to just about every skin tone.
It was important for us to do it in the right way.
Isn't it just varying the colors of the nude spectrum?
It is not. We want true colors that represent skin tones, right? So we're Crayola and we know color. We don't necessarily know skin tones.
As you can see, this is a little pinker.
They brought in a makeup pro, Victor Casal, the former chief chemist of MAC Cosmetics, who even co-founded his own beauty line.
This is going to change things. People can identify with themselves in a box of 24 crayons.
Okay. So wait, so how do I find my color?
Okay, on the box there are panels that you can put up to your wrist.
Look at all of the colors here for everybody.
Right, this is for everyone.
This is everybody.
This is everyone. You have 4 colors in your hand. So now you just start coloring. You just make a little swatch. Actually, that is your color.
I am medium golden, people.
That is your color.
Yay!
That is your color.
Crayola's expansion of skin tone options began in 1992, but this new pack is a first because it's marketing them as a source of inclusion. Why did you choose to market the colors of the world separately, not in the traditional 32-pack or the 16-pack?
This is, you know, skin tone crayons, and so we wanted to make sure that, again, that was clear.
So 20 years from now, it might be in the...
It could be a bigger pack, right, most certainly. It's not just the crayon. It is about feeling included, being seen, feeling valued.
How do you expect this to impact your bottom line?
It wasn't necessarily about the bottom line.
But for any business, money does matter.
They're seeing that African Americans' money is green, and there's a lot of it.
And the impact of widening the spectrum of inclusive product lines can be profitable, according to Cheryl Grace, Senior Vice President with Nielsen Holdings, which tracks African American and multicultural consumer trends.
African Americans' buying power right now at $1.4 trillion is about the equivalent of the buying power of Mexico or Spain. And the $1.8 trillion that we're projected to spend in just 3.5 years is larger than the today's spending power or GDP of Russia, of Canada, and most of the growth in the United States has actually come from multicultural consumers. And the fact that 10% of Blacks and 10% of Hispanics and I think 20% of Asian Americans marry outside of their race tells you that that's only going to continue. And you can't afford to leave that much money laying on the table.
And as brands try to connect with the current social climate, consumers will ultimately decide if the company's intentions must align with the products they sell.
When we really want to achieve change in the world, it's often done at an individual level. It's done in the context of a relationship. It's Dr. W and I working on a project together, despite our differences, despite the fact our skin color doesn't match, but it's the beauty of that diversity that is diversity and healing.
I love the story behind the product, their story. And I just have to point out, we shot this part of it before COVID-19.
When you were close together.
We were really close together. But you know, this is about folks who traditionally have felt invisible and now feel seen.
It seems like the thing I want to say, why did it take so long?
Yeah.
It's like that idea of until you think of it, until you see it, till you live it, you may not be the
It never dawned on me that a Band-Aid was supposed to match my skin.
You're medium golden?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
One of my friends said, he said, medium golden, you're high yellow. I was like, Rusty O'Kelly, what are you talking about?
And I love that it took the makeup industry coming into it to get those skin tones right.